Help me grow, fast or slow, as long as I know you're digging for gold. Help me learn, soft or stern, as long as I know you're digging for gold. Life's a movie, the ultimate trip. You should have been told you'd be digging for gold. Hi, and welcome to another edition and episode. This is episode 18, by the way, on Digging for Gold. I'm Dan Goldberg, your host. You can find all our social media outlets on dangoldberg.com, and at the bottom we have all the icons for that, so you can click on them. And today, if you're hungry, and if you want to know about food, you want to know about supermarkets, you want to know about distribution, you want to know about supply chain, you want to know about all those things and business, the underpinnings of business, we have the guy for you. We have Jason Ravitz of Ravitz Family Markets, Rite in New Jersey.
Yes.
Jason, how are you, man?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. How many markets do you have?
We have five ShopRites.
That's a lot.
And one ShopRite liquor store.
Oh, and you sell liquor too.
In the store in Cherry Hill, on the west side of Cherry Hill on Route 70 by King of Pizza.
And I already told you that my wife said when she lived in New Jersey, when I told her you were on, she said, I spent all my money at his markets.
we thank her for the deposit.
I'll tell you. Are you listening, honey? He thanks you for the
deposit.
For the deposit. How'd you get into the supermarket business?
So my great-grandfather started in the 50s in North Philadelphia, Dave's Market. And I believe he had two locations.
Right.
And he had some partners, and he had my grandfather and my great-uncle involved. My great-uncle had
Wait a minute. It was your grandfather who started it?
my great-grandfather.
Oh, your great-grandfather. Oh.
But he had my grandfather and my great-uncle. Mm-hmm. My great-uncle had a JD MBA, actually, back in the day.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Very bright man. And they worked the corner stores together. Now, they were not the supermarkets we know now. They were just corner stores in North Philly. They migrated over, like a lot of the Jewish population, to Northeast Philly.
Right.
Opened corner stores there. Then my dad and my uncle got old enough, they got into the business. And these were the days of meat being Rocky style.
Oh, yeah.
Like on the grill.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So they were in Northeast Philly for a while, post-World War II. And then 1968, previously to that, a few years before, my grandfather and grandmother, my grandfather retired. They shut down the Dave's Markets,
Wow.
the corner stores, and they moved to Cherry Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother didn't like that my grandfather, my dad's dad, was hanging out at the racetrack and the casinos too much.
In Cherry Hill. And yeah.
Garden State Racetrack.
Yeah, Garden State.
And he started buying into horses.
Oh.
And hanging out there all the time. And my grandmother didn't like what he was doing.
Right.
She saw a supermarket that was kind of defunct at the corner of Chapel Avenue and Kings Highway. And she made a deal for it, the story goes.
So she made the deal without your grandfather knowing?
That's how the story goes. And my grandfather came home from the track. My grandmother said, "You're done. You're turning into a bum. We're getting back in the food business, and this time in a bigger store."
Wow.
So it was the shopping bag.
I remember that, yeah.
At Chapel Avenue and Kings Highway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it all began.
Well,
and my grandfather, along with some other of the old-timers in the food business in Philly and South Jersey, they were some of the people that started the shopping bag co-op, buying co-op.
Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting that people don't know that most businesses that are independently owned but work together have co-ops where the optical industry is the same. Okay,
Yeah.
You know, I was in the optical business for years. It's interesting, you know, when you said you had the corner stores in North Philly, I'm from North Philly. So I grew up at 7th and Master, and then we moved to Northwest Philly. But I'm sure that my parents and grandparents shopped at those stores, at Dave's, right?
Dave's Market.
So you had the store, Your parents had the store in
on Chapel and Kings Highway,
right,
Cherry Hill.
when you could get your father away from the racetrack, right?
Grandfather, no.
Grandfather away from the racetrack. And then what happened?
One store led to a second one that was up the street, the old Ellisburg Circle across from Ponzio's Diner. And when
Ate there many
Ponzio's
times.
when Ponzio's had that aqua green look,
Yeah.
and
Wait a minute. I think Alex is wearing a shirt like that.
yeah, that color.
There you go.
Exactly
You
that
can't
color.
see that, but Alex is behind the camera. He's our editor and so forth, and he's wearing that shirt. Yeah.
Sorry to the Fifas family, my buddies who I grew up with, and our parents did too. But it was Aqua before Ponzio's. But that was the Cherry Hill landmark, and it was a pantry pride, I believe. And
Are they still around?
no,
Okay.
my grandfather made a deal for that store, so another shopping bag opened, and then Woodcrest on the east side of Cherry Hill. That opened in the mid to late 70s. And then my family also became partners in a couple stores in the Delran Cinnaminson area as well. So kind of quickly grew to like 5 stores of different sizes, still under the shopping bag name
Right.
and the buying group. And shopping bag did really well in South Jersey and in Philadelphia. Shopping bag is one of the dominant players
Right.
back in the day for people that remember that.
Are they still around?
No. There's some owners still around, but not many.
Wow. So you had all these stores.
Yeah.
Okay. 6, 7 stores, whatever it was.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
We always change sizes.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're in it, right?
So,
Are you-
well, before that,
Yeah, your story about how you got into it.
well,
is-
that's a good story, but in 1984, so ShopRite had played around with some getting members, we call them, of the buying cooperative, with expanding to South Jersey and getting members in South Jersey and Philly.
Okay,
So in 1984, my dad rounded up our whole family. We met at Steak and Ale in Cherry Hill.
I ate there
By
many
295.
times. Yeah, I ate there many times.
My dad's favorite place besides Ponzio's. And we were kids. 84, I was 13 years old. And my brother Sean was 11. My brother Brett was 5. And my cousin Scott was 6. So my dad rounded everybody up. My grandparents, my uncle, all the kids. My dad said, we're switching from shopping bag. Now, for a 13-year-old kid that grew up with this shopping bag, and I used to, as a kid, brag about being so proud about my family and this and that,
Right.
and it gave me self-importance, gave me pride. I couldn't believe it. Like, what is ShopRite? And that was the smartest decision of my father's illustrious career in the supermarket business, was moving us from the current situation to a bigger player that had bigger eyes on more stores, more critical mass.
Wow.
In ShopRite, in Wakefern ShopRite. The mothership of ShopRite's Wakefern Food Corporation. That's the buying club.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
I
the buying
did my
club.
research.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that, yeah.
So that
So
was
wait a minute.
84. That was 84.
So they oversee ShopRite?
Yeah, they're the mothership. Right now, there's 45 families that own and operate 365 stores in about 10 states in the Mid-Atlantic up to the New England region and down.
Are they all ShopRites?
No, there's several banners.
Okay.
To date, Wakefern and our members now have ShopRite, Price Rite, which is a discount type of Aldi's,
Right.
but a little bit on steroids, kind of, I think. That brand, Price Rite. The Bruno Brothers
Oh,
was recently acquired. Morton Williams in New York City. Gourmet Garage in New York. Fairway Market. Dearborn Farmers Market. So there's several formats now
Wow.
that Wakefern and or our members have acquired, where we can all open up these formats.
oh, that's interesting. The
Yeah.
Brunos. One of my good friends growing up was at the Bruno.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that that product integration and integration of the operations now is ongoing, and the Brown family is operating the stores in Philly and the suburbs.
So what that does is it enables greater volume pricing for everything. That's what a buying group does. And if you're one store, you can buy so much at X price.
Yeah.
But if you're 100 stores, you get a much better price because you're buying, and then it's distributed to the family members, for lack of a better term. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's rules of engagement.
Yeah.
That Robinson
Minimums.
Robinson Patman Act, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Antitrust, but the move to become part of Wakefern ShopRite, I mean, it probably saved our business. I don't know how we would be able to compete in this world against the toughest players that there are, Wall Street companies. I mean, Walmart's overnight became the biggest retailer, grocery company in the world. We compete with Amazon, eBay, Wawa, Wegmans, Trader Joe's, Aldi's, Whole Foods, Acme still, Lidl, you name it. They got bullseyes on us specifically. Publix in Florida.
Yeah, was Publix, I think, just bought by?
No, they're employee and family owned.
Oh, okay. Okay, I know Aldi just bought.
Aldi and Trader Joe's are the same company.
Yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Adidas and Puma.
Yeah, they're
German.
Quite an operation.
Yeah, they're German.
Yeah.
So once you get in there, I think there's a misconception, and it goes, especially in the news today, about the cost of food.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that the supermarkets, that's the image, right, that's put out there. Oh, they're making a killing, our cost of foods and this and that. Having been in retail, I know the way it works.
Yeah.
It's not like you have overhead.
Yeah.
You have electricity, you have mortgages, you have employees, you got health care, you got all that stuff that's paid for out of your $1.25 apple or whatever it is, okay? Or pear or whatever. I know the margins are slim. It's all volume.
Yeah.
Right? Am I correct in that?
Grow the top line, manage underneath, and it should take care of everything in the model.
In the model.
In the model.
So therefore, technically, if you're doing, let's say you do $1 million in a week.
Yep.
Okay. And everybody go, oh, they did $1 million. No, that's $52 million a year. But you have how many employees?
A store could have 200 to 300 employees that does that volume.
So let's say you have 1,000 employees,
Yeah.
right? And then you got the cost of the items themselves and all the other ancillary costs. You can be brutal at times. It's tough.
You wonder where the money goes as you're going down the P&L, the profit and loss statement. It is a scary exercise to watch it evaporate.
Yeah.
In retail. In retail.
Retail is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I was in retail for many, many years, and I tell my students, I'm a professor, besides other things, and it's always like, don't go by the top line.
Yeah.
A company may make $1 billion, but in the bottom, there's so, and everybody has to be paid.
Yeah. Healthcare is a huge variable cost at this point. That is affecting all businesses and government. The cost of healthcare and government's
crazy.
Rough.
Yeah, it's rough. So, how do you decide what to buy? Who do you buy? Do you have buyers? Do you have how does that work?
So from the corporate perspective, there's buyers. Everything's done by division. You have grocery division, you have health and beauty aids division, general merchandise, meat, dairy, frozen, seafood, produce bakery. What am I missing? I'm trying to go visually around the store. Deli. Deli food service. We call it appetizing food service. It's all companies have buyers at the corporate level where the CPG companies, consumer product goods, come present their items, yes or no, take an item out, bring it in. I think 80% of items fail in the first year anyway.
Really?
I think that's a stat. I'm not sure. It might be higher, 90%.
Of the items?
The new items that come out fail. 80 to 90, let's say. It used to be 80%. I don't know what the measurement is now.
Wow. I want to talk about that later in the show, but because you mentioned to me about somebody who has a product. Yeah.
But and then for our company, we have supervision directors, we call them, of like perishables, non-perishables. We have analytics people locally. There's also analytics people, obviously corporate wide.
Right.
But we have our own staff that micromanages our own stores. And they're very good at what they do, and they've been with us for, I think I was looking at the 25-year wall the other day.
Right.
There's over 90 people in our company, that are over 90 people over 25 years, quarter century.
Wow. And I hope everybody knows what a micromanager is. A micromanager is a very, very, very small human being. You can barely see them, but they manage everything. Okay.
I'm getting used to the humor.
Okay. So it's somebody that goes through the details. And
did you want to back up about the story about my dad and grandfather with law school?
Yeah.
We skipped over that.
Yeah. I want to hear that.
Yeah.
So no, you go.
Okay. So I'm asking you questions. So
you can.
So I went to Emory University, graduated in '94. My dad wanted me to go to law school.
Right.
Someone in the family to have the legal background to bring it in the business. I think I would have ended up staying in law and been a really nasty litigator.
Cool.
Which would not have been good. But I took the LSATs, did my applications, got in where I got into, and my grandfather got in my ear. And we were opening a store from scratch in Mount Laurel, building from the ground up. And he said to me, look, you don't need a law degree. We got plenty of lawyers. We're building a store from the ground up. This doesn't happen very often. This store could be special. You'll get invaluable experience starting. You'll be able to work with me. I'll teach you more than any school book or teacher's going to teach you. Now, this is in '94.
'94.
And I'm the oldest grandchild. And I listened to my grandfather.
Right.
And my dad was pissed. Fiery pissed. You made me get you recommendations, and you met with these people, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not minimizing what he said, but it's not for public consumption.
Right.
But God rest my dad's soul. So it was hard. That was a hard time.
Wow. But you got over it, right?
Oh yeah, I graduated in May and started in May, and my grandfather kicked the shit out of me the first day I went to work.
Good for him. Worked out, didn't it?
Kicked my ass. I'm like, what did I do?
But it's the way to do it. It's the way to do it. It's funny because I'll give you an example. I've owned a number of businesses, and one of the businesses, my son worked for me, my younger son, and we would drive together to the store, and I said to him, I want you to understand something. When we're not in that store, you're my son. As soon as you walk through that door, you're my employee.
Yeah.
So don't think that you will get anything different than anybody else, and I'm not going to treat you differently than anybody else. You're going to have to do the things I tell you to do, and that's it. And that's what your grandfather did.
Well, and it's interesting you say that because part and parcel to that, my grandfather was on me in this brand new shiny toy store that he was worried about the volume. In Mount Laurel wasn't as developed back then, but the store started doing really well, really fast. I didn't know what I was doing at all. I had worked in the stores. I had a sandwich business during the summers at the stores that I would serve local hairdressing places, auto shops and stuff like that with a couple friends. And I pushed carts. I worked as a cashier. I worked in the grocery department, everything. I did a lot of stuff as a kid, but I didn't know how to manage a department in the ShopRites. I had no idea about inventory levels. And the first job I had was health and beauty aids where the velocity is not there. Even back then, before the advent of these crazy, drugstore chains that started, or online. And I remember I was given the ordering, it was called a Telzon, and you used to have to plug it in. Now everything's wireless and beyond, and there's auto-generated ordering. But it was when you had to do manual orders, but with this Telzon, you have to plug it in. People would unplug when I plugged in with orders to mess with me, lose the order. I didn't know how to order sale items that were on sale. I didn't know how to merchandise end caps, the shelved ends.
Right. I know it well.
But the worst was inventory management. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea about cash flow. And my dad said, here, take this, fill up the shelves. Okay. So I went item to item and filled up the shelves. And an order came in for $100,000, a trailer. 3 times for a trailer of health and beauty aids, which is unheard of. And my grandfather used to take the invoices that we got from Wakefern when the driver delivered. He wasn't looking for that. He was looking for high gross profit items and buy one, get one free on sale so he could buy in and make money on the turn.
Right.
I didn't know what he was doing, but he starts looking at this invoice. And it was and he looked at me and said, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, why did you order all this stuff? We have to pay for this to Wakefern. We have to settle up with them in, let's say, a week, whatever the terms were. And I was like, I don't know. Somebody told me just fill the shelves. I got the, are you stupid, blah, 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 and I was crying. I'll never forget it my whole life. And the dairy manager, Jeff, who recently retired after 30, 40 years with us, the dairy box connected for some reason. Probably because they were receiving docks by this health and beauty aids area.
I get it.
And he said to me, he saw me ready to, and he grabbed me, put his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, yo man, I'll help you, just relax. Your grandfather means well, it's tough love. Your grandfather's a legend. I came to work for this company because of your grandfather and your dad. You gotta deal with this. We're in a tough business. This is the way it is. And, but then, on to your point about your son, my grandfather taps me on the shoulder. Be it your grandmother and mine place in Cherry Hill after work for happy hour and food. Like, what is going on here? He just made me cry. And our family was really good at, I learned over the years, no matter who it was, my uncle giving my younger brother a problem, my grandfather went from picking on me to, down the line as people came into business. My dad found HR as I was coming into business. So he went from a wild man to kinder and gentler over time. So I didn't get abused by him. And I think he felt bad for me for what I was going through for my grandfather because he was there before.
Right.
But my uncle and I have talked over the years about how our family was so well conditioned to leave the family crap at the store where there was confrontation or disagreements or training going on, the tough love, and then socially be able to all go out to dinner and stuff like that. Now, granted, the business was a big part of conversations.
Of course.
I mean, my grandmother would referee it, my mom, my dad's first wife, she was a cashier in one of the stores for a while, and worked on the front end. My mom's dad was a front end manager, night manager for my grandfather. So everything was so intertwined, so everything happened at that dinner table, but it's like it was gone.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I hope our listeners and viewers understand. Gives you a picture of what it's like behind the scenes when you walk into a supermarket.
Especially a family business.
Yeah, especially a family business. And all those things you see on the shelves and those beautiful produce items and all kinds of stuff, the cereal boxes and everything else. There's so much that goes into whatever they're buying.
They all have a story.
They all have a story.
Every single item on the shelf has a story.
It's wild.
Crazy. How it came to market, how produce hits those shelves, quality control obviously is so critical in the perishable departments. The CPG, consumer product goods companies, bringing products to market, where we already talked about, a super majority fail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard. The supply chain is hard.
The supply chain. And that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But that whole, it's hard. It is a grind.
The supply chain is enormous.
Yeah.
Okay. Some fruits coming from Chile, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Other stuff comes in from
Mexico.
Yeah. From Kellogg, Michigan, or wherever that is.
Paper from Canada.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then who oversees that supply chain? Is it the not the holding company, but the co-op?
Yeah. For us, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we have warehouses that are self-run. We have the logistical arm, a lot of which is self-run, some is subbed out. But to get products from the manufacturers or growers to the warehouses and then down to the stores is a process, and it has to be done quick and efficient, because time is money.
Time is money. You know who said that, by the way?
Who?
Benjamin Franklin.
That's a good.
Yeah, and I was just speaking with him just recently.
We
grew up together. He's passed away for a while, but I'm old.
You were at Independence Hall somewhere talking to a statue.
I was, and it's not that far from here, right?
Right.
We can get there in a half an hour, if less. I often wonder this. I go into my supermarket, and I got a bunch of them near me. What happens to all that stuff that's spoiled or overdue, or the stuff? Was the expiration date runs out? What do you do with all that? What happens to it?
So there used to be, and there still is some, like reclamation centers that handle the expired goods for like clearinghouses.
Right.
But that's gone away more and more over the years, and it's more a percentage of what you buy. But a lot of the products that we can do nothing with, we have a food gleaming program with the South Jersey Food Bank. That they pick up multiple times a week from all of our stores. And then we also have the company we use is called Organic Diversions. Mm-hmm. They've been in New Jersey for a while. We happen to have a relationship with the gentleman who started it, actually through the New Jersey Food Council, which I've been a board member of for I don't even know how many years at this point. Mm-hmm. But their company basically turns what you have into organic waste, and then you don't have to talk about taking expense off the lines. What goes away? The pickups from the waste management company, the tonnage, or they're less frequent. And you're helping the environment, and it's a win-win for everyone.
So they
for business. So the misnomer that environmental stuff isn't good. This is one of the being that it costs more money.
Right.
And I don't want to get into the politics of it,
right.
But I will tell you that this is a great thing for the environment, great thing for businesses.
Yeah, so they make organic waste.
Yeah.
Which you can use to grow stuff.
Yeah.
Now, is that what they do with the expired produce?
A lot of it that cannot be used.
Right.
For someone in need, let's say.
Right.
Like that the food bank couldn't use.
And you give a lot of that stuff to the food banks.
Yes.
So you're supporting.
Absolutely.
And that helps all these people who can't afford.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, because food insecurity is everywhere.
Totally.
And then we have a program that's been running definitely for more than 20 years at this point with General Mills called ShopRite Partners in Caring. Every ShopRite participates and there's contests to get on Cheerios boxes for the associates,
Wow.
which is pretty cool in the management. And they do displays, creative displays, fundraising, and the recipients of all the dollars
Right.
are companies that deal with, not companies, nonprofits that deal with food insecurity. So it could be food banks. Food banks are a majority.
Right.
ShopRite in New Jersey, and possibly and definitely I would say in the Philadelphia region with Phil Abundance, we have to be the greatest contributor to those food banks.
Wow. So that's what happens to this stuff. I mean, I often wonder, okay?
Some of
But
it
it
you can
makes
still get money back, but
Right.
it's the inefficiencies again with sending back every single
Yeah.
box.
Yeah, you're better off just donating it.
And then there's a deal with the manufacturer for a flat percentage based on historical data or other formulas.
Do they incorporate that into the price? It's like we know that over time you've sold 90% of our product and you're left with 10%.
Yeah, that part of it, I'm not sure because I'm
Right.
in a different realm of the business at this point. But I used to do that. I used to be in buying.
If
and
you need
merchandising.
somebody to negotiate that, give me a call.
I trust our guys.
Okay. Yeah, me too. But once you get into giving, right?
Yeah.
You can also, that's it. You benefit from that tax-wise. Am I correct?
I mean, my dad used to say, "You're not getting taxed on anything you don't sell anyway."
Well, that's true.
I mean,
That's
that's
true.
what he used to say.
But
and if you're
for-
not making money, the write-off's worthless.
Right.
So
That's a good point. Yeah, if you're not making money, who cares? But you're donating to a nonprofit, so that's.
Yeah,
I mean, when I give to charity, if it's enough, you can write it off.
yeah,
Right?
I mean, conceptually, yeah.
Yeah, conceptually, that's a good way of saying it. So, here we are, in your stores, and I've been in a number of them. Beautiful stores.
Thank you.
And then I understand that you actually help startup companies.
Yeah, we've had some experience with that, and it's you have winners, you have
Losers.
losers. You win some and you lose some, and you gotta dust yourself off, pick yourself back up, and go at it again if you have that entrepreneurship inside of you.
Right. Do you ever, as a store, as a group of stores, start your own products? Like come up with.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Who comes up with that?
Well,
what's the process?
From store development is what you're talking about, like
Yeah, in-store development.
okay, in-store development. Yeah.
Entrepreneurial stuff.
Typically, ideas. What's the saying? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yeah.
So, we are students of our competition. We're students when we visit other areas of the country or the world. Now, you really don't even have to travel if you do some research online.
Right.
So we come up with ideas. Try not to be store blind. When you're in your own place all the time,
Yeah.
you miss things. You miss it because you
Sure.
see it all the time. So going to other places, going to other ShopRites,
Mm-hmm.
because every family has some different nuances and a different demographic they're catering to. So getting ideas, and I'll see something around, and I'll send it to one of our supervisors. Can we do this in the kitchen, or can we procure this? I saw this, it's a pretty cool item. Can you contact them? That's usually the genesis of something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we get approached a lot, and but it's a lot of the ideas they just happen. Or you're at a restaurant and you're eating something. Why can't we make this as a home meal replacement thing? Item.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. How often do your employees come up with stuff?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Because they do the same thing.
Right.
And deep down inside, they're creative. They also have the best gut instincts of what will work and what will sell, because they deal with the customer every day, 24/7.
Right.
They talk to the customers. The customer asks them where things are. They walk them over, start talking to them. They know what buys and sells. The person ordering all the groceries for the grocery department, the sale items, the person in the deli, the person in the bakery, cake decorators.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably, I mean, I would put our cake decorators up at our locations up against anybody. And when people put things on Facebook, can somebody do this? I said, Ravitz Shop Rite, Marlton Shop Rite.
Wow.
You know, one of them, Kat, she is a phenomenal cake decorator at our Marlton location. She can make anything. And we put stuff like that on our social media.
Wow. Alex, we should have known this before. We could have told Jason to bring a
stuff,
cake.
bring food.
What happened to us?
I don't know.
Our brains are warped. So one of the things that you mentioned was, you know, the employees and you know the demographics of your area, right? And it's interesting, people may not know this, but I had 55 stores, okay?
Yeah.
All over the country. I've said it before, but even in Philadelphia, where we started, what we would have in Center City was not exactly what we'd have in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Older population in the Northeast at the time, more hipper, younger people in one of our Center City stores. So there'd be some overlap, but it wouldn't be the same inventory.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would assume that you go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So you know that in certain areas,
Yep.
things are different than in other
Yeah.
areas, right?
For sure. We look at our demographics,
Right.
and we've had for years with our frequent shopper card, the Price Plus card, we've had the ability to drill down data for years.
Yeah. Oh,
Now
right.
there's analytics, so it's even easier. But if you know, we have hometown advantage too, because 2 of our stores are in Cherry Hill, 2 are in Mount Laurel, 1's in Marlton. We're local
Yeah.
family forever. The only time any of us have left is to go to college,
Right.
and we know what's in those communities. So we have a store on the west side of Cherry Hill by King of Pizza in a highly competitive area in Cherry Hill on Route 70 West. The store has a kosher butcher, kosher deli, like a store within a store. We call it the Kosher Experience.
I was there. I saw
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I saw the guy with
The
Svill in
Mashiach there, yep. And he's the supervisor to make sure everything's follows the rules of kashrut, and for the supervising agency. Our bakery there is actually fully kosher, which we updated like 2 years ago, which was awesome, a long time coming. But then in the same store, we have a captive Hispanic
Right.
crowd, African American crowd, and just mainstream
Right.
America, Main Street America. So in that particular store, if you go in there, you'll see products for a wide
I
swath.
noticed that. But we spent a lot of
Which
time
is hard
in
to
there.
do.
Yeah. It's very hard. It's very
And to have
hard.
employees, or I call associates, I hate the word employees.
I agree.
Hate it. So if I ever say it, but our associates, doesn't matter what color or religion they are, we have some of the best people handling those special interests of those demographics. For instance, in kosher, the person in charge of the grocery, dairy, frozen operation and the holidays for all that stuff. So Passover,
Right.
which different dietary restrictions
Absolutely.
than Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, or Sukkot. Every person we've had in there, and the person we have in there now, Dot, she's not Jewish. She knows more about the rituals for the holidays than I probably do at this point. And I used to do all the ordering and all that stuff. and the people before her knew that were the same way. They knew everything. And sometimes it's funny to watch. I said, let me go ask Dot about something to a Jewish customer. They're like, well, what are you asking her? They look at her. What are you asking her? I'm like, come on, she knows more about these holidays. Right. You get those feelings when you talk to people.
Of course.
They don't literally say it, but they're looking
Right.
at me like I have three eyes.
Right.
But she knows every item for Passover that there is
Right.
on those shelves.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, and it's a good feeling when your people
Yeah.
rise to that level and take pride in it, and they want to continue the tradition that started with my grandfather and his brother in Cherry Hill in the late 60s, and then my dad, he was a store guy, total store guy. They want to continue that and hold up strong and tell us, look, we got it.
Right. See, that's beautiful. So what I always said, and I was the same, the term employee
I hate it.
has a different
Yeah.
connotation. I always say, I'm not your boss. I mean, I control a lot of things, but I work with you. You work with me.
Yeah.
Not for me. You work with me.
I hate that too.
Yeah.
You work for me thing.
Yeah. You work with me, and without you, for me, my entrepreneurs, the people who work for me, they're the reason my company grew.
Yeah.
Okay, and as they grew, I could afford to pay them more.
Yeah.
And so forth. So it's a good philosophy.
And not only that, you mentioned $1 million a week supermarket, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about a department manager in the grocery department in $1 million store, let's say it does, these days, the numbers used to be higher, but perishables have blown up in a good way, so they've taken share from traditional grocery.
Right.
So whereas grocery used to be over 40% of a typical grocery store, now, let's say it's like 35 to 39.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by groceries?
Center store. So the aisles, not health and beauty aids, but cereal aisle, soda, chips, baking aisle, the
Produce?
No, produce is its
Okay.
own.
Okay.
Produce is its own. I'm talking center store aisles.
Got it.
Paper towels, dog food, pet food, just
Toiletries.
Toiletries.
Different.
No, that's
But
health
toilet
and beauty aids.
paper.
Toilet paper, yes.
Okay. Very important.
So bar soap used to be, well, it might be classified the other way, but bar soap used to be actually in next to the detergent, if you remember, in grocery stores.
Yes.
And then when I took over merchandising, I'm like, why is it there? No one shops there for that. And I moved it to health and beauty aids, and that was another look my grandfather gave me. But I had more, he respected me a little more by then.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, back to...
By the way, I'm glad you did that, because for years I was taking a shower with detergent, and it just screwed me up. Look at my hair. I had a full head of hair.
You were
until I
using
started-
Cascade.
Yes, and look what happened.
So back to where I was, you have a department manager. Let's just say it's 37% of $1 million store. So that's what, $370,000 a week?
That would be correct.
That department manager is in control of a store within a store that does $370,000 a week. Multiply that out times 52. I don't know
Right.
what that's more than most businesses do.
Correct.
$370,000 times a few is more than most people.
370,000 times 10 weeks is 3,700,000.
Right. So
Times 5 is
you're like almost $20 million. So
More.
So
Yeah.
this department manager is in charge of $20 million of ordering, cash flow, shrink, loss, keeping that number low, sale items, staying in stock on sale items. How do you say the person works for you, not with, like, they work with you. They are the steward of that money.
Right.
And that's a big business. So when I remember I was doing gross profit training classes and shrink, the reporting.
Right.
When we went to this new reporting. And I used to use that example. I don't know where I came up with it.
No, but it's a perfect example. And it's funny because you mentioned shrinkage. Now, for people that don't know this, it's not like your T-shirt that used to fit you well shrunk. No, it's things that are stolen out of the store, right?
Or loss, or you
Or
order
loss.
too many, let's say
Right.
you order too many cantaloupes and they go bad.
Shrinkage.
That's loss.
How do you handle, like, stuff that disappears?
Nefariously?
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't talk about that. They're trade secrets.
Okay. Because
the technology now is
really reduces
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Without getting into details.
Yes.
Because I don't know what I'm allowed to say and not allowed to say.
No, don't say anything.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that my brother, years ago, my older brother, I'm 803, my older brother's 805, he worked in a supermarket, and he would look to see what was going on. And I'll never forget, he told me, guy goes to check out, and my brother's checking him out, and he goes, and those oranges in your pocket?
Yeah.
He had into the bill. I said, what'd the guy say? He said he couldn't say anything. I caught him stealing.
My grandfather used to ask people while they were trying the grapes if they wanted to pay it back then, like a couple pennies for them.
Right.
They would look at him like he was crazy. But that, anything that doesn't get rung up in terms of what you're buying is shrink.
Right.
And, COVID, and we all know about the stories with theft and how theft increased COVID and beyond by people taking advantage of the situation and organized retail theft. That definitely added and continues to add to a lot of merchants' problems. But I will say in New Jersey, through the New Jersey Food Council,
Right.
we recently worked with the state legislature, the Assembly and the Senate in New Jersey, and the governor's office. We got a bill through that tightened up penalties for
good.
organized retail theft that were really hurting businesses of all size. And there's different facets of the bill which will deter, or people are going to end up, it's not going to be revolving door
Right.
when they get caught. And it passed unanimously through
Wow.
the state assembly and the Senate, and the governor signed it. I actually got to introduce the governor at the bill signing ceremony, but our director of operations, who was a direct report to me, and him and I have worked together for years, and he is brilliant. I remember the night we were after 5, 6 o'clock, something had happened at the stores with organized retail theft, and I was going out of my mind. These were repeat offenders. How does this happen? We have to do something about this. I need you to put together a presentation because you're way better at this stuff than me, interactive, and we're going to go on a roadshow to legislators and get something done. Well, we presented to the New Jersey Food Council, which I've been on the board on, and then collectively we all worked together. And I asked somebody, when was the last time something passed unanimously in New Jersey through both houses and got signed by the governor, and the person couldn't even remember.
Yeah. I would probably say never.
So we got that done, which is a great thing, and shout out to Jesse Levine, my director of operations.
Jesse, you're a good man.
He took that ball and rode with it, testified along with Tina from Wegmans, who's one of their heads of loss prevention. So we worked with Wegmans on it. It was pretty awesome. The two of them actually were honored a couple weeks ago at a New Jersey Food Council event.
That's great.
It was really awesome. As were the sponsors of the legislation.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you explain the broadness of shrinkage.
Yeah.
I looked at it as in-store theft, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
It's.
Do you know, though, we were talking about giving product away that could still be used by the food banks, and then organic waste. There's another program. There's a whole crowd, and you might see it in your role as a professor with the young people. We use a company, I think it's called Good to Go, and they have an app, and they're food-saving warriors, these people. So you put together bags for a flat price, and it's a mystery bag, essentially.
I've heard of it, yeah.
And it's stuff that's on the edge.
Right.
Like before we're ready to just throw in the towel.
Right.
Safe to eat, and there's a movement towards that now, and a lot of top-end retailers use it.
It's great.
So we're a
like
part of that.
Bruised fruit that people don't. I don't know why people.
A turkey
don't.
sandwich that the next day got nowhere to go.
Right, exactly.
Isn't going anywhere.
Right.
And somebody wants it for dinner. I think you get an idea what you're going to get, but it is a mystery bag.
That's pretty cool. That's great stuff. We need more of that stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty cool watching the numbers and watching the reaction from consumers, and that's why I never really say never? I mean, because I would looked at this and I said, who's going to use this? And there's a whole...
It's a bunch of people that need it.
And it's varies in age. We would think that the young people that are coming up, that would be their thing, but it runs the gamut.
It's a beautiful thing.
Demographic. It's pretty cool. I was a naysayer about that. I just didn't get it.
Huh.
And now I get it.
Yeah, I think about all the people who are, on the cusp are food insecure.
Yeah.
And there's any major demographic area has that. And every major university has that. We don't think about that with college students, but there are students that are food insecure and are homeless.
If people realized, like let's say in Cherry Hill. In Cherry Hill, we receive calls from churches, synagogues, mosques, other temples of other religions, for members of theirs that are going through hard times. And can we help out at all? And we get these calls a lot. We have a family foundation called Ravitz Family Foundation, and we get asked for grants from a lot of nonprofits beyond that Partners in Caring program I was telling you about, which is a ShopRite program, for the same. And it's scary, the depth of the problem in this country.
It's very scary.
And now with SNAP, which is the public assistance, electronic benefits, some of that's getting cut. Food dollars are going going less of a distance because of certain areas with inflation. Red meat, coffee. It was all over the news today on the different business channels, I noticed. They were going to coffee shops because the coffee market hit an all-time high, I think, today.
You mean?
The futures and everything, I think.
Really? So the price of coffee is going to go up?
It's been going up.
Wow.
The olive oil market was up a lot, still is. Hopefully that cools down.
I know why.
Eggs has cooled down, but...
Eggs have cooled down. Olive oil, from my background in dealing with that, because I have an overseas entity, some countries stopped exporting it.
Doing it.
Yeah, because they said there's not enough for the people that live here. Yeah. So they just stopped it. And we in this entity that I'm involved in, we said we can't get it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to, I mean, in terms of red meat, the cattle herd is the lowest, I think, in 70 years is what is being reported. But I've seen the ebbs and flows of this I've been in this 31, 32 years, so I've got enough of a life cycle that I've seen that I've seen this in commodity prices. I've seen this in available job applicant pools, so to speak. I've seen that. It always goes like this. Yeah. It's an absolute roller coaster that, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and as a retailer, which all of us in some godforsaken way love.
Right. Yeah. We need.
And we tell people, in your right mind, you would never invest in our companies.
Right. It's true.
But it's a labor of love, and you get used to those cycles. It's very frustrating when you hit the low points of the roller coaster, and it's very hard.
It's interesting to me, the ebbs and flows, and if there's commodities exchange based in Chicago, right? Yeah. Isn't that what? And if you really want to, everybody thinks about the stock market, right? But there's the commodities market. That's a lot of the things that Jason's talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the herds were at the lowest level.
It's 70 years. I think it's 70 years.
Wow. And I wonder if it's because people are eating less meat. I'm not sure about that, or
it's not. No.
What is it? Is it the land being shrunk by developers? There's not enough. I shouldn't say the land being shrunk. It's not shrunk, but the areas being smaller where herds can graze.
There's a
who knows?
multitude. There's a
Yeah.
multitude of reasons that the farmers,
Right.
the farmers are the herders, and the farmers are having a hard time.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And if you know that without farmers,
We're done.
we're done, completely done. Where are you going to get your food?
The good news is, our part of Pennsylvania and then New Jersey, we have some amazing produce.
Yeah, it's true.
Whether it be mushrooms in that's Kennett Square, right?
Kennett Square, yeah.
Or we have Jersey tomatoes, Jersey corn, Jersey peaches, blueberries out of Hamilton. I mean, we are fortunate. People mock us being Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey,
right?
But the produce we have locally, we're very fortunate to have.
My wife grew up in South Jersey,
yeah.
and we'll buy tomatoes, and she said, we got to buy Jersey tomatoes.
Yeah.
And people don't know that Kennett Square is literally the mushroom capital of maybe the world, but certainly of the United States, and blueberries in Hamilton. And Pennsylvania really, and New Jersey, they're agricultural hubs.
We also have leafy lettuce.
Right.
In New Jersey, we have other items. I mean, New Jersey Agriculture Department has done a really nice job with Jersey Fresh. They're limited by what funds they're allocating in the budget.
Of course.
But I actually saw the gentleman who's in charge and the deputy recently, and I said, you guys did a really nice job this summer, because it was a hard summer with those rains.
Yeah.
With especially tomatoes were tough.
Yeah.
So, and it hurts, because when you see consumers talking about it now on social media, or talking to customers in the stores, or you see people out and about, I feel bad that.
Yeah, it's interesting what you've given us today. People are. I like to say there's a lot of intelligent people out there, but there's a lot of ignorant people.
Yeah.
You can be very intelligent and very ignorant at the same time. And hopefully the ignorance about your food supply, what goes on in a supermarket, what goes on for those products to reach you, okay, has been enlightened by what Jason has to say today.
Yeah.
Because this is really educational situation right now. It's been a very educational episode. And I want to thank you, Jason, for coming here.
We could do a whole other episode about COVID.
And we just met.
About COVID, because that was unlike anything I've ever seen, and hopefully we'll never see again. Every day was like a snowstorm scare, hurricane scare, and re-procuring.
Oh, right.
And recovering.
Oh.
So we could do a whole nother one about that, and talk about when our associates crushed it in a good way, killed it. Like risking literally getting sick, like that first, second year when the different variants, and we knew nothing. And our people, they stayed at work, they worked, a lot of them worked 18 plus hours a day, and they were great. But talk about supply chain, and the inner workings and the background, and like I could write a book about COVID, and I think I told you, a lot of people asked me about that because we were pretty visible in the community during COVID, and unfortunately my dad passed away at the beginning, even though we didn't let him come into the stores, and all of us in our company had to work through it. And but people ask me how it was to do that, and I had a Facebook page managing our inventory levels so people didn't waste time, because we had people coming from everywhere, and we can do another talk about it. But anyway, what I want to say is, people said, what was that like? And I say, I reached the pinnacle of the success in my career by my actions during COVID to help the community out, and extended communities, because I was shipping stuff all over the country.
It's amazing.
So that was, if we can get through COVID collectively as a society and as a supply chain, and not create food hysteria, which was the goal,
right,
we can get through anything. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Jason, thanks very much.
Thank you.
This is beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
This was great.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Ravitz Family Markets. Shop Rite, South Jersey. Evesham, right? You're in...
Marlton, which is Evesham.
Right.
2 in Cherry Hill, 2 in Mount Laurel.
Great. Listen,
I'm like
I want to
blushing.
thank Jason again, and thanks for listening and watching. If you're on YouTube or in Spotify and all our other outlets, I appreciate you listening and watching. Don't forget, give us a like and also subscribe. Next week, we'll have some more very interesting stuff for you. So it's been great. I want to thank once again Jason Ravitz, Ravitz Family Markets, Rite. For all of you in South Jersey in that area, don't forget, get over there, get your food. All right? All right. Thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on Digging for Gold.